What is make.com? So Make is a low-code data automation tool. Picture like workflows in HubSpot. I think everybody here probably has some interaction with workflows in HubSpot. A little bit like that. It's a visualization for manipulating that information. It's an iPaaS, or it's an integration platform as a service. So it's a third-party service that exists completely standalone from HubSpot or any other system that we do. It does more than integrations. You know, it sells itself as an integration platform, but it's a data automation tool. I'm gonna keep hammering home that fact. Data doesn't need to transfer from one place to another to take advantage of Make or other tools that we have. So what about Zapier? So Zapier is also, everybody I think probably has heard of or used Zapier, had some interaction with it. Zapier is another data automation tool, but it's garbage compared to Make. Some of the things you can do in Make that are better, you can do complex equations without taking up additional processes. So all of these systems charge based on the number of processes that occur in a particular execution, I guess. And with Zapier, you need to take up additional executions or processes. And with Zapier, you can do them all kind of wrapped up. There's easy manipulation of JSON or XML, which is great when we're interacting with a system that doesn't have a built-in integration. So some random system that we're interacting with that has an API, this is a great feature of Make. Zapier doesn't really have it. Make does have thousands of integrations, just like Zapier does. Their pricing is competitive or beats Zapier most of the time. There's unlimited users on many of their plans. There's just too many different advantages here to list. It's a great tool. What it can be used for: integrations, reporting, data extraction, updating data. So, system A, we need to update 1,000 records of some sort. We could use this to read each one and make a calculation and update it. We could use it to extend HubSpot workflows. So if you've ever hit that point where you're like, oh boy, I really wish HubSpot workflows could do X, but it can't, there's a very strong possibility that it could get done with Make. I'm gonna give you a quick tour of the tool. I'm not gonna get caught up on all the specifics here. So this is the Make platform. Right now I'm logged into Portal. We've got a couple other customers here that use Make. And then we have our own buy account. So this is kind of a landing page, organization landing page. And you can see the number of operations through time. So with they're bringing in sales transactions and putting them into HubSpot as deals. So obviously they don't have transactions happening over the weekend. So when you see these lulls, those are weekends, these peaks and valleys. And then during the weekdays, they have, the transactions go up. One of the great advantages is that there is a team structure within Make that Zapier kind of has on some of their higher level plans, but you can add tons of users, give them permissions to different systems, have some different granular security. The real guts of Make is the scenarios. Those are the things that move the data. So they're the things that take data from A to B, or take data in, work it, put it back. They are the real workhorses of Make. There's a bunch of templates, pre-built templates. Connections are connections to external data resources. Sometimes these can be custom, which is the idea right here with this MySQL or MS SQL connection. Sometimes they're an existing software like HubSpot. Web hooks, not really going to get into those, but they're how data can be sent to Make, or you can use them to communicate between scenarios, which is what I primarily use them for. Keys for serving or for storing data, for encrypting information as it transits, if you need to encrypt data. Devices, if you have the Make application on your phone. Data stores, so that you can actually store data in Make. I use it primarily for logging, but there's a couple other use cases where you might want to store something in Make in kind of a rudimentary database structure for use at a later date. So here you can see I have a log and some system codes. And then data structures, which is just a technical element I'm not going to get into, but they define what those data stores look like and what the other data elements that you interact with look like. So all right, we're going to hop into a scenario. This is really the guts again of Make. It's a visualizer, right? So from this system here, you can watch a set of transactions progress through whatever manipulation you want. In this specific one, I'm starting off by grabbing information from SQL Server, and then I'm working that information and determining if I need to create a deal, update a deal, or do nothing with the deal because I've already got it in there and the information is newer than the thing that I'm looking at. So that's what these different pathways are here. So I mentioned that there are webhooks for communicating between scenarios. I bring in that order information, and then I do other processes via different scenarios. And the one I just showed you, we're updating the deals. There's other processes that attach the contacts or creates the contact for the deal. Attach the company as the company. And again, you can see the three kind of prong approach here. That's always, for me at least, it's a create a new one, update, or do nothing. And then line items. So one thing to note, since we're moving HubSpot data all the time, HubSpot is really chatty when you move line items. It takes a lot of effort, takes a lot of calls to create line items on deals. So that ends up being processor expensive. So if we're ever planning a project where we're bringing in deal information, line items kind of ratchets things up a little bit, but they're kind of a core needed element. Just makes things a little more complicated. So one of the cool things about Make, you can literally watch the processes work right now. So I just kicked this thing off and it went and looked at database, and from database it grabbed 11 transactions. So from the last time this thing kicked off to this time, there's 11 new transactions, and now it's eating through them. And again, one of the cool things is I can see exactly what information I got. I hope you guys can see these pop-ups that are happening on my screen. So one of the great things is it's easy to troubleshoot. So I can see every piece of information that's being brought in and what's happening to it. So I can see that this order number for the customer Metal Associates was found, and now it's chugging down the line. And it looks like most of these are updates. Another oddity, again, a HubSpot oddity. HubSpot is really picky on timing. You'll send it information sometimes, and then if you look for that information, it accepts it and it says it creates it. But then if you look for that information right away, it's not there. It takes a couple seconds for the information to be found. So in my scenarios, you'll see a lot of sleep commands to kind of slow things down a little bit. That's what this thing is right here. You can see my cursor, and it just kind of lets HubSpot catch up.
Hey, Justin, quick question for you.
Yeah.
I see that this looks like it's scheduled to kick off every 15 minutes. but you also have the ability, like if, for example, you were working on a hotline item, you could kick it off manually as well without disrupting that schedule, correct?
Absolutely. Yep.
Cool.
So when I kick one off in the middle, I think now, so it has this run time. I think it'll wait another 15 minutes until it does it again, as opposed to like doing one at 1:45 and then the manual one and then one on the hour. So I think it kind of resets the time. Yeah, and this one's set for time. There's other ones that I've got set up that go off when information gets passed in. They go off every minute. It all depends on what we're trying to accomplish.